Thank you everyone for joining me today. I'm Refael from Up9, and today I'm going to talk to you about how I apply SLOs on real-time Kubernetes cluster traffic. So let's put the SLAs to work. First, we need to define the rules per service, per endpoint, maybe per the entire application. Second thing, we're going to apply those SLOs of the real-time traffic of your Kubernetes cluster. Three, we're going to understand exactly which endpoint is breaching which type of rule. So if it's a latency, a schema validation, etc. For that, I'm going to use Mizu. Mizu is a super simple open source tool. Think of like Kubernetes, your Chrome DevTools for your Kubernetes cluster. Regardless if it's REST API, gRPC, Kafka, ActiveMQ, we'll see the traffic for that. And one of the features of Mizu is that it can show you, it can allow you to do validations for the traffic. I'm going to show you how we're going to do that today. We'll focus on latency and the schema validations. In order to do that, we have the Weiss application. I'm going to show how I see the real-time traffic, and then how I create and apply those validations. Some will be simple, some a bit more complicated, and a hint how you can get your APIs over time using Up9. So let's jump right to it. This is our demo application. This is Weiss. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to just start Mizu. You can see that it already goes and get everything from my cluster. I can, of course, put some per namespace, regular expression, and etc. to pinpoint what exactly I want to see. And now I'm going to use my browser to just browse the Weiss application. You can see that I see everything here, the front end, but not only the front end, because for that I have DevTools. But remember, DevTools for Kubernetes. I can actually see the behind-the-scene Kubernetes services. So cluster, like catalog, I see the request, the response. Let's do something cool. Let's do a bad login. So I'll go here. Let's do user and that, enter. And you can see I got not only the front end. So let's see, here we go. So the front end here, also behind the scene, the user that we got. So we got it here as well. Let's look at the response. I'm not authorized, 500. And I got the millisecond, the latency, and etc. So for that, let's go and apply some validations. I prepared a simple validation YAML. What I'm going to do is basically break the catalog service on the catalog path if the latency will be 1 millisecond. And the same thing I'm going to do for the front end, but this time it will be 2 milliseconds. And I disabled the card latency SLO because we're not going to use that during the demo. It's really nice that I can use the same path on different services. The reason I'm using a regular expression here is maybe I have multiple front ends and multiple catalogs, and I want to apply those SLOs to all those pods. So we're going to save that and run Mizu tap with test rules this time. And again, Mizu is going to apply all these rules to my Kubernetes cluster. And now that is up and running, I can switch to my application. Let's do a quick homepage refresh. Here we go. It's starting to see the traffic. Now let's go and have catalogs. Here we go. And we can see that we got some breaches here. We have, like, for example, this one. All the rules were applied and they're good. We see that the front end, 2 milliseconds, that's great. But what we have here, for example, let's look at that. Rules, catalog was supposed to respond with 1 millisecond, but it was actually 2 milliseconds. That's a bug. We can actually do really complicated ones. We can go and validate the entire application. For example, here, you can see the entire application, 1000 milliseconds. I can put a JSON schema validation that if there is an ID, it's valid solely. The price is a float. The content length of the header content length is a number. And with that, I can actually go and apply different types of validation for my Kubernetes traffic. With Up9 using Mizu, I can actually go and get all the contracts and all the traffic over time. That way I can apply it to my Swagger, just download the Swagger, get all those SLAs into the Swagger and apply them later on. We'll be happy to get more info. If you want to get more info, use getmizu.io. That's the Mizu website. You can take it from the repo or take it directly from the website. happy to contact me. My email is here, Twitter, or you can just scan this nice barcode here and get all those links directly to you. Thank you again, Pablo, for inviting me, and have a great day.